I was playing these. The Hawaiian language not only has very few letters in it, but the words are very matter-of-fact. These are called ka la'au. Ka la'au simply means two sticks that you hit together. And they can be any length. Sometimes you'll have a stick that's as long, as tall as your body. And you hit it along the length of the body and you get different sounds. Listen. Again, much like the ipu, high and low note. And then another thing you do is you'll play a log with your foot while you're playing the two sticks. The hula is the ancient Hawaiians' way of keeping their history. Up until 180 years ago, there was no written language. So before that, you had to go to a special school, a hula school, to learn your history. Just like you have to go to school here in America to learn your history. Now, the schools there are called halau, and the teachers are called kumu. And there are also good and not so good students. The good students, they get to do the dances. The not so good students, they get to stand and play the sticks like I did. Now, we're going to teach you a hula that uses just the hands. Now,
for the pink. For the pink.
Tell you all a story about under the ocean. In the sea grasses, wave your arms, that's it, lives Hananaka, who is still looking for a prince, and still searching and reaching for him to bring him to their home under the sea. Build it again. And now the aloha step. One hand in front of your mouth, the other extended. Swing it around into the sea grasses, over your head, where lives our Hawaiian mermaid, who still can't find her prince, and hopes that he hasn't forgotten her and their home under the sea. Build it again. And again, the aloha step. Into the sea grasses. Wave your hands over your head. That's it. Lives Kananaka, who hasn't found her prince and is almost giving up hope. Now the dance is ending and the music slows down. There's one step we didn't show you, but it's very easy. Follow Julie. Watch your hands. The waves go out and the waves return. And when the waves meet, your dance is complete. Give yourselves a big round of applause. Start
Here it goes. I know, but also few girls who
I'd like to tell you a little bit of the history of the Polynesian people. There are two beliefs, or two theories, as to where Polynesians came from. The oldest one is they came from west of Polynesia, Indonesia and Indochina. And in huge ships, ships that would hold up to 400 people, and without any navigational equipment, they sailed east until they got to the Marquesa Islands. From there, they spread like a ripple on the water to the rest of Polynesia. But a newer theory says that the Polynesians came from over here, Central and South America. And on rafts like Thor Heyerdahl's Kon-Tiki, they sailed till they got to Rapa Nui, Easter Island. And from there, they spread out to the rest of Polynesia. Well, no one knows for certain yet which of those theories, if either, is correct. But on our next musical instrument, we're going to show you, perhaps, some influence from Central America. Now, if you look at these instruments from just the top, they're brightly colored feathers. But underneath those feathers are small gourds with handles attached and pebbles inside. So when you shake them, what do they sound like? Maracas, that's right. Maracas from Mexico and Central America. And if you took the tops off, they would look like them also. But in Hawaiian, they are called uli uli, feather gourds. And what the dancer is showing you here in this dance is how the ancient kings of Hawaii would surf at their favorite surfing spots. Many things have come to us from the Polynesians, and one of them is surfing. And every king of Hawaii had a place where only he was allowed to surf. This is done to my favorite piece of Hawaiian music. This is the Hawaiian war chant. and hula uli uli.
Straws especially have static electricity. They just like floating around.
Yeah, we were right here.
We wear different assortment of flowers and leaves and nuts to decorate our costumes. This is the regular lei. Most people have heard of that. But if you go to Hawaii, if you go to the different islands, they will be made out of different flowers that are common to that particular island. The lei on top of the head is called lei po. Now listen closely, because the one that's on my ankle is called lei po o. So there is a distinction in all of the leis. Thank you. These here are called kukui nuts. At one time, they were very rare in the islands of Hawaii, and they were only worn by the royalty of Hawaii. It is actually a greater melting pot of different peoples than the United States mainland. In Hawaii, you will find people from the Philippines, from China, from Japan, from Spain, Portugal, Germany, England, from Singapore, from Australia, from everywhere. And they all have come together to form the peoples of Hawaii. We're going to leave Hawaii now. We're going to travel 5,000 miles south. Now, do you know what happens when you fly or move 5,000 miles to the south in the southern hemisphere? It gets cold. When we go south up here in the north, it gets hotter, doesn't it? But it's the reverse when you're in Polynesia. When you go south, it gets colder. And so, the environment changes. That means that the culture of the people of New Zealand is much different than that of the rest of Polynesia. The people there call themselves Maori. And they call their land Aotearoa, the land of the long white cloud. That's because when they first saw New Zealand, they saw something they'd never seen before. They saw huge alpine mountains with snow covering them and a long white cloud hanging over. So when the wife of the captain of the ship first saw the land, she said, Aotearoa, land of the long white cloud. Now, the people have a different culture. Captain Cook visited there in 1793, and he made two observations about the Maori. He said they were the greatest fighters in all of Polynesia, and they were the greatest wood carvers perhaps in the entire world. And here I have an example of both of those. If you look closely at this, you'll see it's very beautifully carved. The Maori are great wood carvers. But this is a war axe. This would have been used in battle between warring Maori chiefs. But today, it's just a ceremonial object. Ah! Wait a minute. I'm sorry. It's just ceremonial. But if you look closely at this, you'll see the beginning of something else. Something that's becoming very popular here in America and throughout the Western world. The beginnings of tattooing. Today they use a hot needle. And they just put it in with that needle gun. Prior to that, they used a shark's tooth. And they would carve into the skin of the person to be tattooed. Or they used two sticks like this. One stick, it would have a point on the end, or a dog's tooth. You dip that into ink, and you stuck it into the skin of the person to be tattooed. With the other stick, you did this. That's right, you pounded it right into the skin. If you listen closely, listen to the two sticks hitting against each other. They're going tat, tat, tat. That's where the name tattoo comes from. And people throughout Polynesia are tattooed in different ways. The people of the Marquesa Islands, they have tattoos all over their body, toes to head. The people of Samoa, only the men have them, and they have them mostly from here down to their knees and only on their backside. In New Zealand, the men have them mostly from the waist up, but the ladies are tattooed, and they're tattooed mostly on their face, and especially on their lips. So imagine being tattooed on your lips by two sticks like that. Well, we'd like to take you to Aotearoa now and show you two dances. The first dance is a men's dance, and I will do that for you myself. It's the styling of New Zealand is much different than that of Hawaii. In Hawaii, you dance with your knees bent with nice flowing motions side to side. But in New Zealand, you stand in place upright and move either forward and back or stay in place. And you keep rhythm with either one or both of your feet. And your hands, instead of doing this, they do this. Some people say they do this because it is cold in New Zealand.